Well, hello there. I'm Charlie Simons, your host here on Do Not Talk, talking about the things you're never supposed to talk about, talking to the people I'm not supposed to talk to. That's kind of what I do. This is a little departure from the usual discussion of politics and religion that I do on my show, as you know. Speaking of which, how about getting one of these mugs at my website, charliesimons.com, so you can let everybody else know. Let's talk about politics and religion. A big old 15-ounce mug, right? I love this mug. And it's a big mug. I like big mugs. I cannot lie. Them other brothers can't deny. I also have shirts, hats, ways for you to give on there if you want to support this ministry. You want to be a part of what I'm doing here. I sure would appreciate it, especially now trying to go to North Carolina. Got to pay for the airfare to partake or to participate in and broadcast live from a symposium going on there talking about child sex trafficking. Very serious discussions and guests, some who have actually lived through it. This is a big deal going on in North Carolina the first weekend of March. And I've never been to North Carolina. I always wanted to go, and I got friends there. So I'm going, Lord willing, but I could use the money. I could really use some help with the airfare. And you can find ways to do that at charliesimons.com, CharlieSimons.com. And get yourself some merchandise. Click on that merch tab while you're there too, would you? You'd be helping the show that way as well. My guest today, I've did so much of this all the years on the radio. I used to have stand-up comics on all the time. That was kind of like a big, because I did it early in my career when I was on the radio. I was also doing stand-up comedy, and I'd MC and I'd open. I was never a headliner, so I was not all that funny. But I tried, and I learned how nerve-wracking it can be. It's hard work. You're thinking, how hard are you working up there? What if you're a headliner? 45 minutes. You get paid how much money? A lot of money. If you've built a following and you're doing well and people show up just to see you, oh yeah, you can make a lot of money. But there's a whole lot of years where you don't. And you're doing what they call open mic nights, and that's usually on a Sunday night. I did a few of those in San Francisco at the other cafe was one of them, and the Holy City Zoo was another one, trying to get traction. But I had my radio job, see, so I kept doing that. So this was just kind of a side gig, but I learned exactly how difficult it is and how it can break your heart too if you're up there giving them your best stuff and working so hard and they're completely unresponsive. Oh, it's a horrible feeling. That's such a horrible feeling, and you beat yourself up afterwards for days. Audiences are different, and comedy is subjective. And every time I hear somebody say, "Oh, I can't stand that guy. He's not funny," not funny to you. There's other people who find him hilarious. Don't just label somebody as not funny, or even oh yeah, they're hilarious. Really? I don't find them so hilarious. I think differently. So it's a very subjective thing, and you never know what kind of audience you're going to get. And then you've got alcohol involved. Almost always alcohol involved. And you get somebody brave and you get some hecklers. And I'm talking to a couple of guys who, I don't know how this all came together. I'm looking forward to finding out. But they've teamed up and they're doing comedy, and that's not their backgrounds. That's not where they came from. One is Gus Murphy. He was huge during the whole COVID shutdown, showing up at school board meetings and really throwing it into the face of these school boards that, no, you're not going to make my kid wear a mask. What are you, high? You probably are. You're in California. And the other one is Bassil. Bassil is a massage therapist and one of the absolute best in the Northern California, Sacramento area. Very well known. I've heard about him from other people. I'm going, yeah, I'm familiar with him. Great healing. So good at what he does that everybody talks about him, and it's hard to even get an appointment with him. He's doing stand-up comedy. What, did you lose a bet? Let's find out together right now. This first time on the show, Bassil, and Back again, Gus Murphy. Ready? Hit it.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Hi, Charlie.
Hey there. Thanks for having us.
Bassil, the first time somebody told me that you were doing stand-up comedy, I'm like, interesting. How did that start?
Well, I've always been told you're funny, but I never had the guts to, get up and do it. And one day during COVID, my wife and I were sitting outside having dinner. There was a band playing. They took a break. I ran to the stage and I said, "Hey, can I do some stand-up comedy?" And the guy looks at me and he goes, have you ever done it before? I'm like, "No." He goes, "Are you funny?" I said, "I hope so. Every table has a knife."
Every
And that
table has
was
a knife. Okay, that's funny.
and that was 4 years ago and never looked back since.
That is amazing to me. I cannot believe the guts that took to. You must have had a couple of glasses of wine in you.
Well, that's the thing. I've never had alcohol in my life, so I'm the only straight up comic that go up on stage without any alcohol or any inducement.
When I was doing stand-up comedy, that was BC, before Christianity, before Christ, in my life, and I always had to be lit before I went on stage.
Yeah.
I was so much funnier when I was a little buzzed. At least I thought I was hilarious. But Gus, how about you? What the heck? School board dad showing up at meetings and arguing with the school boards and telling them no when they were saying, yeah, your kid has to wear a mask. That's when I first had you on the radio, and I thought you were an extraordinary gentleman, and I loved your bravery for doing that. How did the comedy thing start?
Well, the bravery still carries. You need that, as you alluded to. A friend of mine, a successful realtor named Kevin McDonald, he, I don't want to say dared, but he pushed me to do an open mic night at a benefit he throws called Comedy in the Barn. It was to raise money for Northern California Parkinson's Association. There's another one coming up in April, on April 16th. And at the end of the show, they invite anybody attending to do an open mic. And, whether you're speaking to a school board or a town council, or you're doing comedy, you want to get a message across. You have a certain amount of time to do it. And rather than invoking that other emotion, you're just trying to get people to laugh. So there are parallels. And yeah, I launched into it. Bassil was there. That's how we met. He was involved in that, being funny for everybody. And he came up to me and he said, "You know what, man? I think with a lot of hard work, you could be funny." And he gave me my first ever paid gig. And I'm proud to tell you. And I've recently won 2 comedy contests locally. And it's going pretty well.
Now, in both comedy contests, I was the judge, so maybe there was some, No, but seriously, I saw him for the first time, and he's a natural. So I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, you're natural. You should do it. You should pursue it." I gave him his first paying gig, and I had him sign a paper. He didn't know this. Now he'll find out. I own him for the next 7 years.
The Simon Cowell of Sacramento comedy right here.
That's funny. When I was
By the way, Charlie, I'm a little bit pressed on time. I have to be out of here by midnight.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll do my best to try and keep the show within those parameters. When I first started doing comedy, I was actually in Sacramento, starting my radio career at K-Pop 93.5.
Yeah, I remember K-Pop.
Anybody remembers that? I was a 7 to midnight guy, and loved it. Did great on the radio when nobody's seeing me. Then I started, but I was always going to stand-up comedy at Laughs Unlimited. Remember Laughs Unlimited?
Yeah. Oh, I done 2 shows there.
There was the one down in Old Sacramento, and the other one was at the Birdcage Walk. Remember the Birdcage Walk?
Yeah.
Over by
that was a cool mall. Too bad it went away. But good heavens, I'll never forget the first time I went up there and tried to do it, wrote all my little material and everything. And I had become friends with the guy who emceed all the shows, because I'd had him on my radio show before, and we became friends. And he goes, "You could do this. You could do this." So that's how it all started. But I'll never forget how completely this is a guy who has performed in front of and introduced acts, big acts, and all kind of in front of thousands, even tens of thousands of people. I've been there. Never nervous, hit the ground running, get the job done. Comedy just about wrecked me. It made me so dang nervous. But do you either one of you play golf?
I do.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I do.
I love the game. I love it so much. And every time I play it, I think, why don't I do this more often? But I'm just not good at it. But it's that one, you could have the worst game for 17 holes. And then there's that one hole where you get a great shot and you get a good score just on that one fairway. And it makes it all worth it. And you go back. So
I have a name for that. It's called the big lie.
No, I can do this again.
Yeah.
And so I remember the feeling of elation when you come off the stage and you killed it. As they say, it's what all the comics say. I killed it. I had a killer set.
Let me ask you a question. Do you play Chinese golf, Charlie?
What's Chinese golf?
Sometimes I hit it pin high, but most of the time Shanghai.
Shanghai. It's just that I'm trying to compare the two, though. All it takes is just a couple of good shots, and you're like, I can do this again.
Yeah.
It was the same with comedy. You'd have a couple of good sets, and you just go, I'm going to keep going. It was an exciting time. It was a fun time. One thing I found in common amongst all stand-up comedians who do it professionally, and that's their gig, and that's all they know, they're not nice people. They're horrible to each other. I mean, horrible. So cruel. And
it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, you said he was
stealing your material. They're knocking you out of contention for different things and so on. They're just terrible to each other. Yeah. But you two teaming up together is 2 against 1 now. And one thing you can say about bullies, they're cowards. They'll always back down. So it's great that you have each other to lift each other up like this.
Well, we don't always we know some pretty good comics, and yeah, we do have a good relationship. He's a massage therapist. In fact, he's working out a knot right now underneath the table for me on my thigh. Appreciate that. It's amazing.
Working out a knot. Is that
I kept that clean for your viewers. I don't know when it says "do not talk." I don't know if I'm still supposed to be clean or what with that.
Yeah, dog. But go ahead and touch.
No, we do work together a lot. Bassil's a fantastic promoter, and he helps a lot of the comics in the area get started, like myself. I alluded to him once as the P. Diddy of local comedy. You got to go through him. He's the gatekeeper. I don't know that that's the best analogy. Analogies aren't the best.
Did you say gatekeeper or gatekeeper? Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm from Iraq. I hear with an accent.
Oh, I got you. So what is your act like? Can you, I don't want to ask you to give us a little bit of it, but if you could, that'd be fun. But one thing you got to do, I know with stand-up comedy, is you hone your act.
Yeah.
And jokes that work again and again and again, that's keeper. And you might use that joke for years. You just might structure it or change the names a little bit to make it more relevant, but the stuff that doesn't work, you got to throw it out, and you work it down to where you have at least a good solid 45 minutes. Now, even if you're telling a joke for 30 seconds, let's say, as part of your bit, that's a lot of material. How do you do it?
You want to go first, or
you go.
I always tell people that what's important for me, the way that I do it, Charlie, is instead of feeding him jokes, I imagine that I'm feeding him food. And, you got to let him digest one bite before you give him another. And you alluded earlier that I think a mistake that a lot of early comics make that I've seen is they go fast. And you talked about alcohol, right? Some people are trying to process the previous joke, and you're so nervous. And what do we all do when we're nervous? We talk fast, right?
Talk faster,
Yeah, you asked earlier what was our style. Bassil, being more of a host, does a great job of bringing other comics in, and he's good at getting in, getting out. I enjoy 20 minutes because it allows me to slow down, and I'm storytelling, and I try to let people know where they're at on the ride, so that they can digest the joke, right? It doesn't make sense if one moment I'm telling you a joke about camping, and 30 seconds later, my grandma's naked in a Walmart. We gotta. So that's me. I'm more of a storytelling comic, or at least I try to be.
I
And
call that
that's
the how about that syndrome, where Jerry Seinfeld built a career on it. How about that? How about those airplanes? How about flying? How about grandmas being naked?
yeah.
And then it has no relevance to what you had just talked about, but it's just a way to segue. And there's all these little tricks like that. Do you talk to the audience at all? Do you go back and forth with them? Because some of the comics are brilliant at that.
I don't do much. I'm like, usually I'm focused on what I do. Sometimes they will take you off your timing.
Yeah, not everybody
Um,
does it. Not everybody
Yeah,
does it.
but every now and then I do come up with something brilliant. Like one time when I was doing a show, and there was one heckler, he was drunk as heck, and he kept saying, "You're ruining the vibe. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!" And I'm like biting my tongue. I didn't want to say anything. Finally, I said, "You know what? I'll stop when you stop drinking." And that was the end of it.
You're ruining the vibe. What was
Mhm.
is that's a derivative of hey, you're ruining my buzz. That's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
How weird. Yeah. How about you, Gus? Have you had any encounters with hecklers?
Yeah, my worst heckler, I think I got rid of him by just saying, "Go home, Dad." No, I'm kidding.
That's
Um,
good. That's
yeah, no,
good.
I mean, I involve the audience, but the comedy contest I just won in Rockland, California. We were on the heels of Valentine's Day, so I called up some people who didn't know what they were in for, and I had them read some of my wannabe Hallmark cards, and you quickly realize why Hallmark did not endorse me. But you can use it to your advantage, and sometimes getting after the audience a little bit makes people sit back. They're like, "Oh wait, this guy can't, I don't want to be part of that." So sometimes it's better to be on the offensive, to use a military
Never sit
strategy.
down front. If you don't
Yeah,
want
but
to be the center of attention at a comedy show, never sit down front.
yeah, we'll get you if we need to. I'm prepared to do it always.
But I actually tell people, just because you sit in the back, it doesn't mean we can't find you, because there's no jurisdiction in comedy.
Yeah.
If
That's
if
right.
you're going to be a fun fact, we will make you a fun fact.
Yeah.
So you guys are not on stage together. You're
So we've done like probably 7, 8, 9 shows together, and
oh, you have.
But not at the same time.
not at the same
But
time.
you're not both on stage at the same time doing bits
No.
together.
No, who's on first right here? No,
Yeah.
none
Okay,
of that.
gotcha.
Yeah, none
Yeah,
of that.
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Like I'll
Comedy.
usually introduce him and then ask the audience to clap for him one more time when he leaves the stage. So there's a few seconds where we share the stage.
But by and large, my comedy's a lot like my romantic life. I'm alone.
Yeah.
I'm alone.
Yeah. It's
My wife can attest for it. It's 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get in, get
yeah.
out. I said that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Hit it and quit it.
Yeah.
What do you have coming up? You got something good in the works?
I do. March 21st at Twin Rocks Winery in Granite Bay. It's a Saturday. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7:30. I'm the host. We got Sam Bam, Jerry Castillo, and Key Lewis. That's March 21st. And then I have another show on April 18th at Via Castellano in Auburn. And that's also a Saturday. So March 21st, Twin Rocks Winery, and Via Castellano in Auburn at April 18th.
They're both beautiful venues too. Both of
Is
those
it
places
nice?
are really nice.
Do
Yeah,
you
I've
have
played both of them.
do you have any a website or any place where we can
I
go
do.
to look? Okay,
Yeah, comedybybasil.com.
but you got to know how to spell Basil.
Yeah, Bassil, Basil.
Comedy by Basil.com.
Yeah. Now, how it's actually Bassil, but I'll tell you, 46 years ago, I came to this country and I met this girl. She gave me her number. I called her. Her mom answered the phone. Remember, 46 years ago, I had a heavier accent. So mom asked who's calling, and I said Bassil, and she thought I said a-hole. And she berated me, yelled at me, screamed at me, hung up the phone, never heard from the girl again. I hung up the phone. I was looking at the TV, and there was Basil Rathbone in the movie Sherlock Holmes. And I said,
Love
from
those.
now on, that's my name.
I love those movies. That's funny. Well, congratulations on somebody who didn't think you called her an asshole.
Yeah, I know.
That's nice. How long you been married then?
Now I'm my second marriage, 7 years into it.
Oh,
My first
got
one
it.
lasted 24 years.
Sorry for bringing up painful memories.
No, it's okay.
Tim,
Go ahead, Charlie. I was going to mention
comedy
North
is
Carolina for a
tragedy
second.
plus time.
Yes.
Tragedy plus time. So
Yes.
you have a tragedy, you give it enough time, and you start making jokes about it, and that's kind of part of the healing process. That's a very true thing. Comedy is tragedy plus time.
Yeah, I have a whole 15 minutes about my divorce and all that stuff. So yeah.
But you do. How could you not? Go ahead, Gus. What were you saying?
I wanted to mention that I was born in the beautiful state of North Carolina. I have a lot of beautiful relatives there, and I heard you say that earlier. So, yeah, you've never had the pleasure of being going to North Carolina. I'm excited for you. And if you need to save money, yeah, I mean, I can turn a couple of houses into an Airbnb.
Nice.
I mean, and my family still calls me and Gus, I haven't seen you in so long.
In a coon's age.
Yeah, they hold on to the end of their sentences just like this, and yeah.
And another charming little trait, they seem to put an R at the end of everything.
Some of them.
My whole family's from the South on my mom's side, and it's not wash, it's wash. It's not potato, it's potato. They put an R at the end of everything. I love the photos I've seen and all that I've learned about the Carolinas, and I've always wanted to see Charlotte, South Carolina someday. I hope to, because it's supposed to be even better than Savannah, Georgia. But I'm going to be over on the eastern tip, in outside of Asheville, a little town called Hendersonville. Are you familiar with it?
That would be on the western. Asheville's on the western side.
Did I say eastern? My apologies.
I think you were just testing me to
That'd
see
be the Atlantic Ocean, wouldn't it?
I'm really from. I'm really from there.
That's right. Now I know you're really from there. No, I meant western tip, obviously. But are you familiar with Hendersonville?
Yeah, I think I drove through there really fast once. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. No, I love you, Hendersonville. I'm kidding. Best Waffle House in all of North Carolina, I've heard. So you're gonna love it. Yeah.
I love Waffle Houses, period. And after the year I lived in Tennessee, I fell in love with the place, and they don't have them in California. So first thing I'm going to do when I get there is head to a Waffle House and get the pecan waffles.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, I can't believe I've never brought up Waffle House on stage. You want to be relatable. So not everybody out here has had it, but man, I wrote
Nobody
a joke
knows
once.
what that is out here.
Yeah, I got a joke I'm working on about Waffle House. Everybody calling them, kind of a low bar restaurant, but I want to say actually technologically they're very advanced. I think they actually invented cloning, because it doesn't matter what Waffle House you go into, it's the same waitress in all 700 or whatever location. It's always Flo. She's 72. She's been smoking for 73 years. What do you want, sugar?
Yes, he's not kidding.
No,
and the cook back there, and everybody can see the cook, and he can see everybody. And it's always they all seem to fit the same mold, maybe have a ponytail going, a little beard growth, cigarette dangling while he's doing that.
They find them on LinkedIn.
That's right. You need a Waffle House cook. Indeed you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. So I want you to do well. I want this to be very successful, and I want to be there at least one of those shows. I want to see what y'all are doing, and count on me, especially if you have any benefits coming up. It's going to be, a good thing, a charitable event.
Yeah, where's your wheelhouse, generally speaking? Like, where can you drive to? Where are you located? I don't want you to dox yourself for the liberals out there or anything that want to get you.
Let's just say, I don't really pinpoint where I live for that very reason.
But you're somewhere, maybe you could be in Northern California, where we're at.
I'm North Cal. I'm a North Cal guy.
That's still pretty loose. I can text you some shows. April 16th, I'm at Comedy in the Barn. Great benefit. Again, we do it twice a year. In October, we raise money typically for Acres of Hope, a place that shelters women and children to help them escape abuse.
I love them.
And then,
up in Auburn. They're amazing.
yeah, up in Auburn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in April, we raise money for the Northern California Parkinson's Association. Our good friend Joey C. Is a comedian with Parkinson's and has good jokes about it, laughing through some of his struggles, which is kind of beautiful. But yeah, we raise a lot of money. That's April 16th, and you'll should hit Eventbrite here in the next several weeks. It's called Comedy in the Barn. It sells out every time.
Yeah.
So if anybody's listening, want to be a part of it, we buy your tickets early, and you can come laugh and do it for a good cause.
And
If I'm available,
a lot of
Go ahead.
realtors come in. I've done that Comedy by the Barn like 7-8 times, and a lot of real estate agents show up there. And I always start the joke with 80 real estate agents meeting in a barn is a sign of low inventory.
that's a good point. Fantastic. And it's Comedy by Bassil, BASSIL.com.
Yep.
Gus, where do we find you?
Well, I'm starting up my Instagram. I'm shutting down my OnlyFans. I am on Facebook at Gus Murphy. I got a big yellow wig. My social needs to improve. I'm very proud of
Who
what I've
doesn't
been
have a
able to
big
do.
yellow wig? Come on, everybody's got one of those.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll change it. I don't think you want it to be rainbow, but I'll see what I can do. Yeah, so I'm at Gus Murphy on social media. You can find me. Just look for the guy who looks like Paul Blart Mall Cop, and you'll. I get that one a lot.
I'll bet. Right on, gentlemen. Thanks so much for spending the time and being on my little old show here. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate you a lot, Charlie. Great to see your face.
Thanks for being had. I am Charlie Simons. You can reach me at charliesimons.com. You can always contact me there. You can book a guest slot like Gus did to be on the show just now. He did that through my website at charliesimons.com, CharlieSimons.com. If you can buy me a tank of gas while you're there, there's 4 different ways right there on my website to help this show grow. It costs me money to put these shows on. I'm not really making money. Not right now. Things have been very tough in what we call the first quarter. Real tough. And it's tough for all of us because California is being punished by the out of control people calling the shots. I hope that all changes come November of this year. We have the big governor's election coming up. But first, you got to show up in June and vote in the primary. Elections are won and lost in California because in the primaries, we have this jungle primary thing, see? So we've got to show up in numbers too big to ignore. And when it comes to being a conservative and showing up for primary and midterm elections, we suck. We suck. Let's end that. Let's actually get involved and vote this coming June, first Tuesday of June, and then the big election in November. Right? May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America bless God.